class in a big way if you guys can see me. All right, now that you know that I'm out here, I'm going to walk around and join you guys in the audience back and forth. Want to answer questions, but this is one of my favorite times of year because after our shows, we get to do what we call, if you guys are just joining us, the inside look. What is the inside look? Well, it's behind the scenes of what we do here at Dolphin Amphitheater. I'm hoping most of you just got to see our 11 o'clock Dolphin show, which is our performance. And now, the trainers on stage and the trainers at the class, we're going to kind of show you what we do behind the scenes. We're going to do some training sessions, which is how we teach the animals to learn some of those new behaviors you see in the shows. We're going to do a little bit of exercise and behavioral maintenance, which is just kind of like, you know, how many of you have kids and you have to relearn algebra all over again? That's behavioral maintenance. Something you learned, but you got to use it or you lose it, right? And we're going to end with one of my favorite things, a dolphin playtime. And I'm going to remind you guys again, but I'm going to tell you now, during our dolphin playtime, we're going to give the dolphins some environmental enrichment devices. That's a fancy word for toys. And they might come flying out of the pool. If you do not want to get wet, or you do not want to get slightly bonked or wonked by a really fluffy toy, move higher, okay? If you want to stay down low, you can, but you might get wet and the toy might come at you. So little kids, maybe up high for this, okay? Now, the dolphin trainers have initiated a training session. They called the dolphins over. The dolphins are all in designated pickup spots. That way we have the appropriate food with them, and we have the appropriate trainers working each dolphin. Every dolphin's different, and trainers have to learn each dolphin as an individual before they get the opportunity to train them and have them in shows. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, direct your attention to the lovely Miss Kelly up on the bridge there. Hello, Kelly. She has a giant Q-tip. Wait, no, that's not a Q-tip. It is a target pole. Now, the target pole is nothing more than an extension of our hands. We train the dolphins to do behaviors by guiding with our hands. Since I can't reach across the center of the pool, the target pole is nothing more than the extension of Kelly's hand. She's going to tap it on the water, which says, "Come here, please." That's a trained concept. And Skylar, who's one of our youngest dolphins, she guided her in a circle to turn her body, and she's going to try to get her to do a tail walk. Okay, so how many of you came to 11 o'clock show? A few of you. Okay, did you see Malibu walk on water from east to west there? Okay, that is a trained behavior that Malibu knows. Malibu is an adult dolphin. She's known this behavior, so we put it just on a hand signal. She goes, "Oh, that's that walking on water thing." And then we blow our whistle to tell her she did a good job. She comes back for some type of reinforcement. Sky's young, and she's just learning. She's like, "I don't understand where I'm supposed to go on this signal." So we give the signal. She doesn't quite know what that signal means quite yet, but she goes, "Okay, I'm going to go to where this tap is because I know what a tap means." And Kelly is like, "Well, spin this way, counterclockwise towards it, and then follow the target up in the water." Now, did you guys notice, did you hear a whistle on the last one? I didn't either. That means that she didn't blow her whistle, which meant good job. Now, we want Sky either touching the target pole or following it really precisely. And Sky, just like a lot of little kids that I've seen, are like, "I know what I'm doing, I got it!" And they do it on their own, but not quite exactly what we're looking for. So, not only is this a tail walk session, but it's also a please pause, wait, and pay attention, young kindergarten dolphin, for my instruction, right? So, Kelly said, "Okay, you had a little trouble up high, let's go down low." Even though the starting position is at the porch or on your far, far right, look at the better control when Kelly is closer to Sky. Look at her, oh my gosh, walk on water, baby dolphin. Woo! All right, who heard the whistle? I did too, and you know why? She touched it, right? She touched the bead, which is exactly what we want. And if we teach Skylar, hey, when you make contact with this, you'll get a whistle, and the whistle means snacks or food or attention or toys at stage, then she's going to try to come up and stay on it and walk on water like Malibu did. Now, I think we're going to move on to some exercise. Take your focus to the left-hand side of stage with Captain, Sana, and Carly. And over on the right-hand side again for your cameras. Woohoo! Now, this is doing a lot of different things. We are working not only group contingency, which means y'all have to work together and jump at the same time, but the target pole is actually reminding them of the location. We have certain behaviors admit in certain places, not only for your audience to see them beautifully out throughout our stadium, but also we can send behaviors that we want to be in different positions. For example, could I ask you a question? Jordan, could you send a Melanie breach for me? All right, so Jordan is gonna send a breach or a high jump in the center. If you have your cameras, get locked and loaded because she is amazing. 600 pounds of awesome right there. All right, so did you see where our trainers tapped at the glass? It was on the far right and the far left. Where did Melanie jump? In the middle. So if we train certain behaviors like a breach to emit in the middle, then we can do it at the same time. We have a jump, and a high jump or a breach in the middle. And so certain positions are really advantageous for us to fill our pool with spectacular behavior for you folks to see. Now if you take a look right here, it looks like we're back to baby Sky. This one was a positional thing. Remember how I said she needed to hear the whistle, to know that it was correct? That's if we're working a contact behavior. This one is a positional behavior. So Sky knows how to do jumps, but lots of times she does them out of position. So we tapped and removed the pole, and that's the same that we're doing with the target pole. And it just says, right here, please. So this is a fast swim. Watch these dolphins swim. They can go up to 22 miles per hour. And what Stephanie and Alyssa are doing at the glass are reminding them, hey, please do your perimeter swim, your fast swim, and use the whole pool. Because just like all of us, and sometimes in my Pilates class, I skip the last couple reps, right? Unless I'm watching. So when we do this kind of stuff, the dolphins will kind of cut the corners sometimes to get back to square one first. They're just excited they want to get back to their trainers. But if we give them this little bit of a tap and a little bit of a reminder location, then it kind of reminds them, hey, don't cut the corners, go all the way, and you'll get your whistle and move forward. Does that make sense? Pretty cool, right? This is all the behind the scenes stuff. When you guys see a fast swim or a jump in a show, it all has this foundation behind us. Now, we did a learning session with Sky with the tail walk. We did some positional target taps, and we also did some exercise. It's also important that we want to have the dolphins. Sometimes we do exercise sessions where we just have them do fast swims and jumps, get their heart rates up. These are all things. We have an acronym called HELPERS. And HELPERS is something that we use here at SeaWorld where we really try as trainers to make their day very dynamic and very well-rounded. And the acronym for HELPERS is husbandry, so HELPRS. Husbandry, right? That's healthcare, practicing them giving blood draws and getting up on a scale and a mouth exam and a body exam. E, exercise, which is what you saw. L, learn, which you saw Sky's tail walk. P is what we're on right now. What do you think? Play. Very good job. And then R is relate, building your relationship with a session, and S is show. So those all make sense, but play is one of my favorite ones. We are going to throw in these balls, and once again, if you're in the lower sections, you might get wet and a ball might come at you. Just kind of keep your heads up, especially if little kids in the front row. Those balls can come out rather quickly when the dolphins get excited. So right now, in our helper session, this is a play session. There's no criteria. Who am I to tell them how to play? If one dolphin just wants to throw it across the pool, that's how they play, great. If another one wants to put it in a corner and talk to it, I don't care, whatever's good for you, right? It's a play session. So these are play sessions. You can see that some of the dolphins are choosing to interact with their trainers. My absolute favorite, you guys, and it just melts my heart, is one of my very favorite dolphins. She's in the center of the pool, Zana. I was here the night Zana was born. Back in 2002, worked with her a long time, and she is really, really cute because one of the things she likes to do with the physio balls is she tries to get on top of them, and like you can see her flippers kind of hug them, and she tries to just like stay on top of it, which is kind of impossible, but it's one of the cutest things ever. If you get a chance to get a picture or video of that, you will watch it a lot because it's really, really cute. Now, we got to see, like I said, a lot of our helpers. Good job, Micah! We also have fun and interacting with our trainer family here too. We like to play with our dolphins, have a good time. We talked about exercise and learn and relationship and all the fun we're having. Oh, good job, you guys. But the inside look is also very special because sometimes we have a lot of people that come to the shows and they think, gosh, I've always wondered how they, or I've always wondered this about dolphins. And this is a really great opportunity for the audience to just interact and ask questions about what we're doing, what they've seen in the show, or just a dolphin question they've always had. Does anybody have anything that they want to ask? For fun. Often, dolphins will have one eye open and one eye closed. That's a great question. All right, another question that happens to be upstairs. What's your question? How come the water's so clean? Oh, like there's no big splash. Got it. Great question. So the question was, how do the dolphins come out of the water so clean? And that means like so precisely, like they come out and it's just like a really good jump and straight back in. Is that your question? Yes. Okay. So let's imagine the dolphin's body shape right there. Take a look at them. Do they look more like a basketball or a football? Help me out, you guys. Thank you, a football. Okay, so dolphins look more like a football, and the fancy term for that is fusiform. It means tapered at both ends, okay? So, if you were to throw as far as you could, which one would go farther, basketball or football? Football, thank you for the response. So, the fusiform shape helps you cut through the air, or in this case, cut through the water. Dolphins have that fusiform or torpedo football-shaped body, and it helps them go through the water very quickly, and also exit and enter without much splash, which is very efficient if you need to get up and out of the water. Oh yeah, I'm coming over there for questions. Getting my steps in today. All right, what's your questions? Real loud. What does the inside of a dolphin look like? Kind of like their body? You know what? That's a pretty good question because you know what? Dolphins are mammals. So it looks a lot like us. And I hope that answers your question. The inside of a dolphin, they don't look like a fish. Because fish are not warm-blooded mammals like us. Dolphins are actually mammals, and there's 5 main mammal characteristics. You have to be warm-blooded, you have to breathe air, you give live birth, you nurse your young, and at some point in your life you have hair. Did that last one confuse anybody? When dolphins are very, very young, when they're first born, they're actually born with a singular little mustache of adorable little hairs that researchers believe the dolphins use to tickle the mom's mammaries wherefore they nurse. So it's kind of to assist and feel for nursing because they will drink milk from their mom's abdomen. So even though a dolphin looks a lot more like a shark, it's way more closely related to a cow. They are an air-breathing mammal. That's what I think is the best answer for what the inside of a dolphin looks like. Whew. All right, I'm going to do another question or two, and I think we are actually going to start wrapping up our Inside Look. Yeah. Yeah. So the question was, do the pilot whales get to do the same things that the dolphins do? Yes. So our pilot whales are actually a member of the dolphin family. There's over 30 different species of dolphins, and pilot whales are a member of the dolphin family. They tend to, I want to say their natural history is a little different, so they're a little different in, I think, that necessarily what they always like. For example, dolphins are going to be like hunting for fish and actively swimming and moving, and pilot whales are going to deep dive for squid. So just kind of their personality, maybe that's a little anthropomorphic, that word personality, but just kind of their natural history has them a little less fast moving and a little bit more stoic because their job is to take that big deep breath, have a good dive reflex, go thousands of feet down and go for squid. So they do like playing with toys, but often we see the dolphins being a little bit more spunky with their toys. But again, I go back to what's reinforcing. Right? On a Friday night, maybe some people want to go out to a fancy restaurant, and some people want to go to a dance club, and some people want to be in their jammies and watch TV. Right? None of those are better than the other. The way that what you find reinforcing is what you find reinforcing. So if the pilot whales want to just swim with the ball floating on their back, that's fine. To us, it might not look as interesting or as playful, but we can't judge what's more reinforcing. Because there's some nights I'd rather watch TV in my jammies than go out to a nightclub, right? So reinforcement and play happens regardless of what it looks like. So that is something we do all the same thing. Helpers, husbandry, exercise, learn, play, relate, and all those things with our pilot whales as our dolphins. Now, I'm happy to do the last couple of questions off the microphone, but for now, ladies and gentlemen, please wave back to our beautiful dolphins at this Inside Look. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're looking for the stamps that you get for attending Inside Look, they will be at the exits at the west and the east side. Do not go out the back.